Alrighty. Uh, I like this. I like this image. I volunteered to do this for somebody on behalf, not for, but on behalf of somebody that volunteered to do this one. Sent me a question or sent me a email asking me a question, and I really like this image and I want to do it. So I said, care if I do it and turn it into a video. He said that was just fine and kind of said, don't worry about mentioning my name. So I'm not going to mention his name, but thank you. You know who you are. So, a few things. One of the things I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to show you if you do, my shortcut way of just making a line, setting its size, convert to satin. I'm going to show you if where the sharp turns are here. If they don't turn out the way you want them to, I'm going to show you how to cut that satin column and manually manipulate the corners. Mostly if you do a really long piece, long column with a lot of detail in it, and then you don't like one or two of the corners, you don't have to scrap the whole thing. You can just cut it and then manually manipulate where they come together. I'm going to show you how to do that on this. Something else I'm going to do that I've enjoyed doing the last couple of times, or a few times recently, maybe not the last couple of times, is all these little toolbars on the right. I'm going to delete them out or close them out. And then I'm going to open them up as needed so that I can show you where they're at. So one of the first things that I do anytime I'm working on something that I haven't looked at very closely yet is I grab this little measure objects ruler, and you can see I already measured that one there. It's 2.65, 2.7, something like that. So that's good. And then these are good. That's a 4mm wide. This is actually a little bit too wide. You really don't want to make something 8mm wide, make it a satin stitch. So I'm going to let that be a fill. And then on this ladder over here, what is that, a crowbar? The crowbar is not going to be in there, but the ladder, we'll keep the ladder. That's a 1.14. Yeah. And so everything looks pretty good. That's a 1.2. Yeah, that's fine. 1.2, close enough. Yeah. So everything measures out really good. We're going to let that be a fill. I don't know about this blank area. I'm not sure about that. I might skip the bottom blank area and just make it a two-piece fill. I might do that. And then I'll send this to Unanimous Guy, and if he wants to change that piece, he can. We've discussed things a few times in before, and I'm confident he knows pretty much what he's doing. But I just wanted to do this one, partly because my wife's out of town for a week, and I feel like I'm getting out of practice. So this is a good one because I know what the next one's going to be, and it's not going to be easy, but I will record it. It's going to be a tough one. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. So what we're going to do, he's got a flatbed single needle. I'm assuming, I know what they say about assume, but I'm guessing that it's not going to recognize the Inkstitch trim command anyways. I've got my fan on. I hope you guys can't hear it. It's toasty in here. So you'll see me wiping my brow a lot, but yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. The first thing we're going to do is go to File and Document Properties. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. He's on a 4x4 hoop, so I'm setting, it's already set. I did a little bit of that ahead of time. Width, I went 3.9, height 3.9. If that's a little bit too big, it's okay to size it down a little bit. But if you can design it smaller and then make it bigger, you'll be fine. You don't want to shrink it too much, just a tiny little bit. But on a 4x4, a 4-inch by 4-inch hoop. 3x9, 3x9 should fit. Should. So we'll go to, we got that. I'm going to close that back out because I don't need that again. And then we're going to go straight into, what is it, object, and then fill and stroke. So that brings up my first toolbox on the right. And that's how you propagate this toolbox on the right, is you just start adding things to it and they just stay there and you can flip between them. But for now, I need to click on the image, turn that opacity down a little bit so we can look behind it. And I told you I was going to show you how to do a fix things. So I'm going to design this out straight. I'm going to show you a trick that Gus showed me. I was watching one of his videos. He didn't know he showed me this trick, but if you're watching, Gus, this one's for you. So you make your lines. And the thing I figured out, the little trick I figured out, is he just grabbed one of these lines and he just bent it around, and you can bend it how you need to. And I thought, oh man, that's actually really neat. And if you've watched any of my past videos, you know that I'm not a Inkscape guru. So a lot of what I don't know about Inkscape, what I do know about Inkscape is just because of Inkstitch. So now that I know I can do this, that's really cool. And then once you do that, you do get these little handlebars you can grab and adjust as needed. So we'll do that. Bring this one up. And then if you don't see a handlebar, like this one doesn't have it, just click it and the handlebar will show up. I know it's not called a handlebar, but the little control bar. And then, yeah, we'll adjust this one just a little bit. And then this one needs to go in a little bit. And then once we finish this one, then we're just going to duplicate it for the other three. What did I forgot what I said the measurement was. 2.7. Okay. All right, we're back in this. No fill, stroke, width, 2.7. And you'll see that puts a funny looking pointer on the ends. And there's probably tools that you can use to fix that, but I don't know what they are. But anyway, I wanted to show you the cut, the satin column anyway, so this will do that for us. Once we have that, we're going to go straight into Inkstitch. Go to Satin Tools, Convert Line to Satin. Absolutely beautiful. Now, without going to params, we're going to go straight into Inkstitch Visualize. We'll see what this looks like. And we'll see what these corners look like. If they look okay, we may keep them, but I'm still going to show you that cut satin column. Speed that up. Okay, so what I'm not, complains too harsh a word. What I'm referring to is this. See how dense that becomes in the corner? That your machine's not going to like that, and it's not going to look real great. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut those corners, and we're going to manually manipulate those corners to the way we like it. Go to Commands, and we're going to attach command to selected layer, and right here, satin cut point, and make sure nothing else is selected. Hit apply. That's going to give us a satin cut point, just like the term says. We're going to drag that down to where we want to cut, and I want to cut it like right there. And I'm going to come in here and give it another one. Inkstitch commands, attach command to selected objects, hit apply. Close. Bring that one over here so that it's about in the same place. And then we can go into Inkstitch, tools, satin, cut satin column. Looks like it only cut one of them. So now I need my objects, object layers and objects. Yeah, so it's okay. So I need to do that again. Extensions, Inkstitch, tool, satin, cut satin column. So now we have 3 objects. And we need to see, we're just going to click one of them, click out, click one of them, go to that nodes tool, zoom in so I can see what's going on. We're going to bend this down. We're going to bend this over, something to that effect. And I'm going to delete the end and run this end right up to about there. Yeah, something like that. Now we're going to select this other one. We're going to start it just a little on the inside and just a little on the inside. Come over here and do the same thing. Okay, that's that one. I need that one. We're going to make this one shaped about the same exact way. And let this run over it just a little bit. And over it just a little bit. Yeah, it should be all right as long as that's just one by itself, which it is. Okay. That should, I'm going to drag this one over. We can be a little bit more picky about the way that's going in. Okay. So that's how you use cut satin column to fix a satin column. And then I'm going to grab all 3 of those now that it's a 3-piece. We're going to go back into, we're first going to do a troubleshoot just to make sure. Yeah, I thought it should be, but we wanted to make sure. And then we're going to go ahead and do a visualize. And see if it turns out a little bit better. I need to flip this rail so that it finishes on the right hand side. And that one looks really good. So just this one here, close that out, unselect, select that particular object, go into extensions, Inkstitch, satin tools, flip satin column rails. Now we won't have that little jump over. So I like it, and we're going to grab them all and we're going to group just to keep them all nice and happy in one spot. Okay, so I like that a lot better. So now here's where I do my little picky thing. This is actually pretty optional, really, but it's a little easier on the machine. It turns out a little bit nicer of a piece. And to be honest with you, this is where I tell it not to tie off in certain places. If this was going on a polo shirt, something, nice shirt, I would actually have it tie off at the beginning here, and I would do this entire piece all the way around, including this center circle here, and then tie off at the end of that. However, this is going on a fireman's jacket, and the thing you have to be careful about is, one thing to know is what it's going on, because since this is going on a fireman's jacket, if it gets it caught on something and it cuts a piece of thread, I don't want the entire thing to unravel. So in that case, I do want more tie-offs throughout the work. I do want more tie-offs. So I am going to select that one and go into Inkstitch extensions, Inkstitch params, sorry. And that is the Linux thing here. So scoot that over. Allow lock stitches before. Hit apply and quit. On this one, we're going to go in to params. And we're going to do lock stitches neither. Hit apply. And on this last one, come on, give me the last one. Okay. On that last one, I didn't, let's check. We're going to go in and set params. I did. Daggone it. So on that last one, we're going to do after. And I accidentally told the whole entire thing not to tie off. So I got to go back into this one and tell it before. Okay, so now we have tie off before, no tie off after. Okay, now we can go in and duplicate. That's Control D, and drag that down. Click it again, spin it around. There's probably an easy button for lining this up, but I don't know what it is. So I'm going to do it this way. And we'll speed that up. Now, let's go ahead and get rid of that little jump. The little jump that goes from there to there, we're going to make a jump. We're going to go from there to there, there to there, and to there. Go into fill in stroke, convert that to a dotted line. Now, the thing to do is make sure you put that in the right place. I hate that we don't have our down buttons anymore. I wonder if there's a way to get that back. Somebody tell me if there's a way to get that back. Otherwise, the only way I know how to move things is this way, which works. So we're going to go in there and look again. And that should have gotten rid of that one jump. Wait, what am I doing here? Yeah, we don't want that. Okay. We're going to look at it again. Inkstitch, visualize. Zoom. Yes. See that little jump, that little running stitch that we did? So far, we don't have anything to have to manually trim. That'll help out. We are going to have things to manually trim. There's no way around it. So the next thing we have to figure out is what do we want to do next? I think we'll just jump right in at the top here and do that one. Yep, I believe so. And I'm going to do it this way because I think it might be just a little quicker when it comes to all these bunch of little turns. That, hit that, Control A for all, hit that, gives us a good nice little zoom around. Go to fill and stroke, give us a what did I say, 1.2, is that what I said? Yeah, that looks pretty good. That'll do. Extensions, Inkstitch. Satin tools, convert line to satin. Same thing here. And I could actually select that other gadget and might make this a little quicker, but I don't know. Two. Extensions, Inkstitch, satin tools, convert line to satin. I did get asked at some point. I got asked. Let's put that together there. Why I don't use shortcuts, and honestly, it's pure laziness. Not gonna lie about it. Okay, that should look pretty good. Okay. Yeah, M's are a pain in the butt too, but this is actually one of the easier shape M's to do. And show you this. Get much easier than that, does it? 1.2. And we're going to pull that out a little bit. Over a little bit. Yeah, that'll work. Extensions, Inkstitch. Convert line to satin. And then I'm actually going to do the next part manually. We're going to run on the inside of this. We're going to run down to about here. And then we're going to come down to about there. And then we can run down. Go over the center line a little bit. Run it down. Give us a couple of crossbars, also known as rungs. I'd think about that. Layers, objects. First one's done for us, so we need to go to that one. And we need to do path combine. Extensions, Inkstitch. Params. Satin column, custom satin column. We need to flip that satin rail. Extensions, Inkstitch, tools, satin, flip satin rail. And I'm going to grab that node right there and pull it up a little bit. Okay. Now we could, and I'm sure I probably will, just duplicate that and flip it over. Drag it over. I have to straighten it up a little bit. And it's not that the letter is weird. It's got that, it's on that angle. It's rounded. That's why it's not lining up straight. Because it's not straight and it's not supposed to be. And then grab that, pull that over a little bit. And pull that over a little bit. That should get us there. And then grab this first one, duplicate, and just pull it right on over. Flip it around so that the curve is the other way, which means we'll have to turn it a little bit to make it right. Absolutely lovely. and grab all of the M. I want to have a look at it. It should look pretty good. Nah. That's why we take a look at it. Okay, that's an easy. That's an easy button. I'm gonna grab that. Go to path and reverse. And same thing for this one. Path, reverse. Extensions, Inkstitch, visualize. See if we still have an M. Okay. I'm good with that. Alrighty. And on to the E. You've watched this channel, you know that is my least favorite letter. Because it's got the most stuff to do. Go just inside that left side column. Fill in stroke, 1.2. Convert. And go from here up to there. 1.2. Scoot that over a little bit. Extensions, Inkstitch. Convert. Running stitch from there to there. Another line back. (1.2). Extensions, Inkstitch. Forgot what I was doing. Convert line to satin. From there up. I think I went too far. Well, depending. Maybe I didn't go too far and I just need to do that. Maybe. Extensions, Inkstitch. Convert line to satin. And from there over to here. 1.2. Extensions, Inkstitch. Satin, convert line to satin. Now go back into your objects layer, find that first one for the E, which is that one. Extensions, Inkstitch, params. Before. Select all of them in between. Go extensions, Inkstitch. Actually, yes. Extensions, Inkstitch. Params. I don't know if that'll include that. It will not. So we need to do that running stitch separately. And neither. Hit apply and quit. That one is our running stitch. Extensions, Inkstitch, params. Neither. And select the last one, extensions, Inkstitch, params. After. Missed it. After. Apply and quit. Now, we can do that We could also do that on the M. I didn't worry about it too much. Didn't worry about it on the S and the O too much. There's only a before and after on the S. There is one in between on the O that we could get rid of. So the E has a lot going on. So that's one reason I don't really like doing E's, because there's a lot going on. And I need to check that because we might have to flip something. Inkstitch, visualize. Let's get a good visualize in here. Nice, nice. And we need to flip that one. That's it. Okay. So the only one we need to flip is the second to last one. Extensions, Inkstitch, satin tools, flip, satin column rails. Sweet. We got the R. R's aren't too bad. Run that up all the way to the top. 1.2. Pull that over a little bit. Okay. Extensions, Inkstitch. Convert. We're going to run this around. To right about there. Control, not the right one. Unselect. Unselect. And then Control A for all, and if it did it, it didn't do it. Control A for all. That 1.2. Run that. Run that down a little bit. Convert. Now we're going to go in here and grab this. Actually, we'll go ahead and simplify. Helped a little bit, I guess. We need to run this a little bit longer. To right about there. Get us a little running stitch action. Get us a little going back over action. 1.2. Extensions, Inkstitch. Convert. Now that we've converted, we can do a little bit of connecting these two. Okay. So you want this one to end on the bottom. We're going to check that real quick. And of course it ends on the top. Of course it does. Extensions, Inkstitch. Satin, flip satin rail. And now we're going to make a new line down. 1.2. 1.2. We will drag that down just a little bit more. Actually, we'll fix it after converting. And we'll pull that up, and we'll pull that down, and we'll pull that up, that down. that down closer to matching the end nodes. That should be pretty good. Alrighty. Now we already have an S. So you know what I'm going to do here. Duplicate that S, drag it over here, click it, spin it around. Huh, that's pretty good. Alrighty. That 4 is a tough 4, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on that 4. We're going to split the metal here and then come down. I think that'll make it look better. Yeah. We'll go straight across. That ain't very straight across, is it? Hit the button, go straight across. And then straight across, and then straight across. Do a path and a combine. Extensions, Inkstitch. Rams. Custom satin. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's divine. Do need to bring those down just a hair more, I think. What did I do here? How did I do that? Okay. Something like that. And then I'll tell you what the really, really hard part is. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. I need to move that over a little bit. Okay, I think that'll be better. Now we can come straight down. Yeah, okay, I know what I'm doing now. Straight down to there. Straight down to there. Mine. We're going to do a running stitch down to here. Fill and stroke. Give us a little running stitch action. And then we're going to come back up. Running stitch. From there to there. And finish it out. Okay. I'm not going to worry too much about this one, these two numbers. Having tie offs in between. There's a lot of tie offs in that 4, but satin stitches this wide should be okay. And if you wanted to, you'd go in there and you could do all the inside pieces, set those to no tie off. You'll be just fine. But satin stitches that wide should be fine. I do want to take a look at that 4 to see how it came out. See if we need to flip anything. Yeah, I knew I did that just as soon as I did it. Tell you what, other than that, I like it. It looks really good. So we are going to flip. I think we can do it from the straight arrow. Go into path, reverse, and there's a lot of things there. I'm going to go ahead and group. Let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bow, bow. Nice. Okay, now I'll do a fast forward because the rest of this you've pretty much seen. Gonna add a little flair to that fire hydrant. We're going to select that body right there. We're going to go into extensions, Inkstitch params, and we're going to select one of the new fill designs. Now let's see if that looks a little more artistic. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Alrighty, this one's done. Yeah, I like it. Please remember to like and subscribe, make an old trucker happy. Until next time, thanks for watching.